Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Walking Dead After Show here on the stream.tv. I'm your host, Sue Castillo, with my fabulous cohorts here, Timothy Michael and Michael Tiberi. And Timothy just got it.
This is very exciting news.
Congratulations.
Zoom in on that.
Zoom in. We got to get a close-up. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Happy
Thank you.
news.
Yeah, happy news.
Very
somebody
exciting.
actually wants to marry this crazy ass. So,
What you mean, somebody? Of course, somebody. But yeah, we have to start off with a happy note because, ooh, how glorious and happy was this episode, y'all? I mean, we saw
insane.
the tiptoeing Carol. We saw
Yeah.
a different Carol today.
I will say this: I feel like the first maybe 25 minutes was a little slow. I think we were all over this whole bad girl, like Charlie's Angels look, but then it got crazy.
It totally got crazy. I mean, we've got Carol and Maggie, because in the last episode, you know, we get that last little over the walkie-talkie, not knowing who this person is. Come to find out, the girl's name is Paula, and Paula's talking to Rick's group, and she just grabbed Maggie and Carol. Now, Carol shot that guy, but didn't kill him, even though she had the ability to do so.
Which we find out later.
And we do find out later, yeah, but I saw that too. It was just like, yeah, that was a total clear shot. Why'd she shoot him in the freaking arm, you know? And so they get captured, and then Carol, when Paula was asking for their names over the walkie, Carol couldn't talk. Like, Carol was just like, and Maggie kind of like looked at her and like stepped in and said, you know, their names. And I was like, what is happening to Carol?
Well, Carol did say her name, but she did have like that hesitation, that weird hesitation. But I think that just goes back to like she's putting on this whole act.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Was this all starting? Was this the build-up for what was going to happen later on? Like, she was starting it early. Like, let me start this process early,
Oh, yeah. Carol had me fooled. I was
Just
like,
Meryl Streep. Just Meryl Streep in it. Just from the get, she's like method acting.
Yeah,
Go.
Meryl
exactly.
Streep meets
Fourth wall.
Liam Neeson is what Carol was doing. And then, and then we have, what is it? And then they get into that compound. They're making their way. They kind of use their jackets to cover them so they can't really see where it is they're going. And so they go into like this facility, this building, or wherever that they were holed up in before. And so now we've got this Negan's group and Carol and Maggie, and they're tied up. And now we've got these interactions, like, for example, I love the callback where, you know, that big old lady smoking a cigarette.
My favorite.
Just smoking a cigarette, and Carol's like, those are gonna kill you. And I was like, ooh.
And then she
What a
coughs
callback.
a couple times. It is.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually kind of glad they addressed this whole, like, because I think we questioned this, like, before the mid-season, like, this season, but earlier this season. Like, what happens if you have, like, a debilitating illness? Like, how do you handle that in this kind of world now? And I think that she kind of answered it, and she was just like, I'm a fucking badass. Like, I don't care if I live, I don't care if I die. But I guess she kind of cared if she died. But she's just going balls to the wall. Like, I'm a dead woman walking anyway, she said.
Yeah,
so.
she said, I don't care. I'm a ticking time bomb. Don't matter. And then we've got, what is it? We've got Paula. Just, you know what? These monologues that Paula had just annoyed the crap out of me. I don't know how you felt, but I mean, are these so far?
Okay.
These new Negan characters.
Not in the comic books.
Not in the comic books
No,
at all.
at
Paula
all.
ain't in it either.
No.
Well, see?
None of them.
No.
Okay.
So yeah.
They're totally
But
going off script.
I was a little annoyed with the redhead as well. I just didn't believe her. Your duck face looks. I can't. Yeah, I just didn't think she was believable
Sue's
as
a
like
total
this like
fan.
badass chick. I feel like they should have like shaved her head or something, and she could have been a little
She
bit
could
more
have been a little bit
badass.
more, yeah.
Between her and Raisin Bran, I didn't know what was going on.
You
Yes, I
called her
said
that,
it.
and I was like, oh my god.
It was funny because we were watching it, and it was like, Raisin, what you talking about? I was like, you know, the girl with the
And then we were all like,
between the girl with the raisin and Paula on the, why should we do a trade? I was like, what is happening? Her filler's not working.
Do it again.
Anyways, so then we've got, and then, you know what? Then that old lady's saying, to the guy, because the guy was tripping out about the fact that he kept getting shot. He kept talking about his arm, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, if you got shot in the arm,
You'd be
wouldn't
talking about it too.
Oh, I
you
would
would be talking about it.
I would just forever, yeah.
And
I
then
wouldn't
being in
stop
the
talking.
room with the same person that shot you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
No.
torture.
Quality.
That's like a torture technique.
Yeah.
Like, oh, really?
Oh, but Carol was playing it up. like Carol was sitting there and, okay, they killed the walker. Carol manages to like loop the rosary
chain.
beads
Yeah.
onto her foot, shimmy them into her pocket. Maggie's watching this.
Yeah.
You know.
Like now
then-
you find God?
Yeah, and then Maggie, you know, we see Carol just hyperventilating, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what's happening to Carol? Oh,
And I was like, no, this is
I
an
agree.
act.
Yeah,
I was like, no.
something's planned here.
you know,
Something's going
when
on.
she grabbed the rosaries, you heard me. I said, oh, Jesus saves again.
That was hilarious.
And
But-
I thought she was going to use those rosary beads and like,
yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
that when she first grabbed the rosary beads, I thought that she was gonna hide them, but Carol's brilliant self just like uses them and puts a whole nother like layer and dimension onto this character that she is building up. Like,
Yeah.
just
yeah, she
brilliant.
did. She
She's
created
brilliant.
a whole new backstory for
Like,
herself.
Question, like what does she call it? Little bird? Like,
Yeah. She was just like, yeah, I'm a poor, I am season 1 Carol, and I have these rosaries.
Well, she actually brought up her husband, which was interesting.
And Sophia, oh, she was using everything in her little
Pull out
toolbox.
all the old
Speaking
stuff.
of Sophia, I hated when she was like, oh, after the death of my daughter, and Paula was like, well, the good news is you'll probably be seeing her again. I was like, what?
Especially after,
And Carol was like,
was so
nope.
mad.
yeah,
No,
she
I
was like,
won't.
yeah, maybe seeing her again. She's like, well, you know what? Okay.
I know everybody
You
at
can
home
have
watching
your
this
5
episode,
minutes.
like every time she talked to Carol, like,
Yeah.
you're weak. You're not like me. I was like, you don't even know.
Yeah, you don't know what's coming.
Yes, you know them silent ones. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, this girl is running her mouth. I was telling you how they were acting like, don't get me wrong. I love that it was like a bunch of women. Yeah, it was one dude. And they were the ones who captured Carol and Maggie. And I could kind of tell, like, when they were pairing people up against one another, it was very like, you know, Paula against Carol, you know, they were supposed to be, I guess, somewhat similar, you know what I mean? From
Right, and the
opposite
other
sides.
girl with Maggie.
And the other girl
Yes.
with Maggie, Raisin Bran. And yeah, it's supposed to be paired up with her. And Raisin Bran was talking about her kid. She was supposed to name her kid Frankie.
You know what? I will say this. We didn't really like the whole femme fatale group. I'll call them that. But they did have really great backstories. Like the as you call her, Raisin Bran. Just having this whole like
She needs to see a
sympathy for
dermatologist.
Maggie with the whole baby because she had a baby and her
Yeah.
finger was cut off because she tried to steal something. And then lung cancer woman and Polly being a secretary. I thought it was great backstory. The only person who didn't get a backstory was the guy because they knocked his ass out early.
Well,
Like, we don't have time.
no, that's what you get. Men, don't you put your hands on women like that. You don't get a backstory.
Don't forget, men can't take pain.
Oh, that
As
bothered
Paula
me.
said. I was like, what? Girl, please.
Yeah, you know what? That bothered me. I mean, I love that it was a bunch of female characters. I mean, y'all tell me what you think. But I mean, for me, you know, I love strong women. I love strong female characters. But that's what I love about Rick's group is that they don't have to like bow up and really like peacock, you know, presenting and just flaunting feathers and stuff like that. They either are or they aren't, you know? This group, I felt like it was just a lot of huffing and puffing. And I hated it. And they said a lot of like, I'm a feminist and all, but I really didn't like that. Men can't take pain. Girl, have you been around some Marines? Some military men? Come on now, they can take pain.
You know what?
Have you been around me when I stubbed my toe?
That's where they got it because they saw Michael's
They saw Michael and they were talking about him.
I'm like, why is this personal attack right now?
Yeah, I think it's just because I think we're preparing for, and there's been a lot of rumors going around that we're not going to see Negan until like the season finale
Of course,
episode,
yeah.
which I don't know if it's true or not. It'd be a great build-up, but I think that because Negan's group is so, as in the comics, is so male gentrified and all like of these strong male characters that I think they're trying to build up strong maybe female characters. But then if you think about it, 2 women being held captive, I mean, being held by other women, that's just a whole nother dimension in itself. You know what I mean?
Like the ruthlessness, like that the women are as equally ruthless
Yes, thank
as
you.
the men.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
because I
yes.
mean, we look at the Alexandrians, you know, and they were very timid and everything like that. And you see Rick's group, the women in Rick's group, and how they're able to, you know,
fend for themselves.
frick, yeah,
Yeah.
they can. And then you look at this group, and it's the alternative. And that girl said the same. Like the girl said one thing. She was like, "You're not the good guys in this." Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, when she took Maggie to that separate room to interrogate her, I didn't quite
Worst
understand.
interrogation ever.
I was like, that's what I was like, I don't quite understand what's happening. You're sitting in a chair, but you're telling more of your story to Maggie than Maggie is giving up. So
Yeah.
I'm like, who's interrogating who here?
Worst interrogation
like,
ever.
what's happening?
Raisin Bran, you need to change.
And then she disappeared.
Just gone. Yeah. She went to the dermatologist.
Yes.
That's where she was gone.
She went to go make that phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just like, I'd like a consultation, and Maggie's over here getting freed and stuff. I mean, it was awful. I was like, what is happening? Worrisome. But I loved that, you know. Okay, I didn't love that the guy hit Paula. Paula was annoying, but like he straight up walloped her in the face, and then he tried to go for Carol, and then Maggie was like, don't, and taped foot. Now, mind you, while all this is going on, Maggie swipes him. Those women just standing there, just
Who are
watching
like,
this whole thing happen. Maggie headbutts him.
And then that's
Ooh.
when Paula stepped in.
And
after
then
she was
finally
up,
Paula
yeah.
stepped in. Like, where was you, Paula? It took you that long to recover? Maggie headbutt the dude. Come on now. Get it together, ladies. Get it together.
Do we like the fact that, I guess it worked in their opinion, but do we like the fact that Carol gave up that Maggie was pregnant early? Because I was sitting there like, because she was like, oh yeah, you could do whatever you want to me, but just don't hurt her, don't hurt the baby. And they were all like, what?
You know, I think so.
I thought it was you didn't like it that she
No.
did that?
I think it was a good idea.
You did?
Yeah,
to,
I do too.
to give that information early. Because it was one of those things of, I think Carol knew that they were going to maybe interrogate. And if so,
They could have beat her.
the ruthlessness
Yeah.
of the interrogation could have taken a different turn.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like, Carol pitted it to where she was the panic attack little
Yeah.
weakling, and she wouldn't have been able to, like, it's one of those things of, like, you usually take the weakest link. You're going to get the most information out of the weakest link, but maybe, I don't know why they then went with Maggie instead. Maybe they thought she
Maybe
just
because
couldn't.
she became the weakest link as soon as they gave up that secret that she was pregnant.
Because she knew that she couldn't be messed with as much because she would have the risk of, you know,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. That would just, that to me, that just seemed like such a stupid decision making. Because if it was me and I'm going to interrogate anybody, I would assess the weakest link out of the group, and I would take that weakest link, and I would interrogate, and I would.
And that would
I'm
have
not
been
going to
Carol.
say torture. I mean, let's just say TV show. Let's just torture that person to get information, because what's going to happen? The stronger person is going to try and stand up for the weaker person, and then you're going to get information either way.
Right.
But they went the other way, which I thought was weird. But I think maybe that's why Carol was just like trying to preemptively save her by using that kind of conscientiousness of like, she's got a baby, you know, and everybody's like, ooh, baby.
Yeah, I think that like slowed everyone's role a little
That
bit.
or like the women were just like, oh, I don't want to get
come on,
pregnant,
the
so don't touch
secondhand
her.
smoke thing, like, really though, the secondhand smoke, I was like, what? Like,
That
really?
was dirty.
that was weird.
But then the one girl's
she-
like, no.
yeah, I was
Stop.
like, come on, guys, it's secondhand smoke. It's just like, we have walkers all around us. Y'all worried about secondhand smoke?
Yeah.
That is-
Like,
that
I don't
is
know
true.
if Carol said it just because she was trying to invest in her character a little bit more, but
Maybe.
even who you famously call Raisin Bran was like, oh no, don't smoke. And I was like, girl, we have other stuff to worry about.
You know what I mean?
Don't
Hashtag
smoke.
raisin.
It'll make it grow.
Oh, no! Well, you know what, guys? We're going to take a quick commercial break. Let us know what you think about the episode so far. We're checking the live chat, and we will be right back. Use the hashtag TWDAS. Stay connected.
We'll be back.
We will be right back.
Right back. Okay.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Oh, you'd want to take the time travel the whole way back.
Oh my God.
We had a crazy vampire threesome.
And you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like,
How did you get here?
No. Look at me. I'm dancing.
You know
know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
And we're like, inseparable. She was shadier than Sunglass Hut with Ray-Bans on sale, ladies and gentlemen.
It wasn't. So come on.
You just went to a totally different direction on that.
When a billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
Oh man, looking forward to this fight.
Ooh, they about to get together. Watch, it's about to go down.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
She just slapped the crap out of Nick.
And he's just
It's so good.
You can't count anything out. Look at you.
It's been another awesome night at the stream.tv, guys.
Thank you for joining us, you guys. We love you.
Don't need to get it right. Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Walking Dead After Show here on the stream.tv. And we are back with the great escape. Holy balls. They took that guy, undid his tourniquet, let him bleed out. And Maggie, after she did all that, she was like, oh, well, he's already dead. Like, I was like, what? You did all that work?
And then she was like,
you
give me that rope.
You know what I mean? You could have just, you know what, he did.
There were a couple other things I could have done.
Yeah, kick up something. But yeah, they let him bleed out or whatever. And then she was like, yeah, give me that rope. And what did they do? They used him like a junkyard dog. And when that girl came through.
Amazing.
At this point, the episode really picked up.
Yeah, yeah.
We were all on the edge.
We were all like, what's
We were all, I think
happening?
we were all just sitting there like,
You were
I was
sitting
like,
semi-fetal.
my body
like,
language was just like,
He's like shielding himself from all the massacre.
he's like, oh, I regret every woman I've hurt. No, but we've got, they're escaping. Maggie's saying, we need to get a gun. They have a knife from, lung cancer woman. And then they make their way down the hallway, and then we see the
hallway of walkers?
The
I guess
hallway
we
of
call
walkers.
it?
I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of Universal Studios,
Yeah,
like the undead
yeah.
walking thing. But yeah, they're all speared and they're there, and it was like, it's to keep us in
And to keep them out
and
or
keep
whatever.
them out. And I was just like, okay, got it. And
thanks.
They
and
use
then-
that at the prison, so I mean,
yeah,
that
and
makes
then
sense.
Paula shows up, and Carol is all like, you should just run. Now, this whole Carol moment, like, she was being a total Morgan, and I didn't understand, like, what was going on. Why, Carol, is Morgan getting in your head? And why, after all that Paula did, like, why are you giving her a chance? I know she gave you the backstory. She told you she was a secretary. She said the first person she killed was her boss. Like, I know she had 4 girls. That was one of the things that she talked
Right.
about. But she was like, that's not the first person or the last person I killed. I'm in the double digits. She doesn't care.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I think that the reason why they introduced Paula as a character was because I feel like this is what Carol could become if she keeps going down the road that she is going down, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Carol, I think, needs to check herself, and I think that's what most of this episode is about, just her checking herself and realizing that, killing people one after the other kind of gets to your head a little bit. The only thing that I was mad about in that situation was you need that walkie that she has.
Yeah.
That walkie is signaling, A, her group, and B, your group. So you could actually use that walkie to, like, tell your group, hey, we're okay, don't worry about us, we'll be fine. And then it's also, like, signaling her group. So that's the only thing. She's like, run. I was like, don't run. We need the walkie.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of which, why didn't Paula, get on the walkie and then call her buddies and being like, they're just trying to run?
that's
like,
another thing.
That is a great, why wasn't that discussed?
She never did that at all. And then, at some point, Ricochet shoots Paula, right? And then old Raisin Bran pops up. I guess she got done with her call. And Maggie. Attacks Maggie. Swipes Maggie. You want to talk about heated?
Yeah, that was crazy.
We were all like, we saw the swipe and we all were like, oh.
Hold on. Hold up. Yeah.
Don't make Mama Bear mad. And when I mean Mama Bear,
you mean Carol?
Carol. Carol came up and just went bam.
No hesitation. That was just like, oh shit.
I guess she's not gonna get to the dermatologist after all.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah,
That was so fast.
Yeah,
That
it was really
was-
fast.
And the look on Carol's face when she did that, though, and then you have the follow-up conversation with Paula in that, Walker hallway, where, about the whole, she was like, well, what are you so scared of if I'm scared of dying and all this kind of stuff? Carol, what are you so scared of? And Carol was like, this. And yeah, she then Carol's getting close and close and close. And I was like, come on, they're going to tussle. You getting so daggone close, she going to go for the gun, which Paula does. They wrestle. What does she do? She gets spiked.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
And
then
her
Ian,
Ugh.
they pulled a Noah again on her.
Oh, no, they
Oh.
should have went full Noah on
That
her.
was-
She was so annoying. They should have went for the lips, not the cheek. They were out there further. They had access. Just bite the lips off. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying that part was very intense. Into the spear and then right up to the face. It was like, damn.
Yeah, that was like the worst.
But we knew that was coming. Like when you
Halla-
saw it sticking out, you
hallelujah.
knew it was coming
Yeah.
here.
Then they get reunited.
Well,
with...
no, they lure
Oh, yes!
Paula's group
Ooh.
up, and they wait for them to go into this kill floor, and then
What did you say? You said hashtag.
I was like, hashtag kill floor.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
freaking I love how they opened up the door to make sure they could count how many were going into the room. And then
Yes.
Carol lights a cigarette. And I was like, is she trying to like...
Yeah, I didn't know what she was
I was
doing
like, is
either.
she trying to like make it sound like she's the woman with lung
That's
cancer
what I thought,
so that
yeah.
they come into the room and they can take them off one by one?
Yes.
But then I remember they moved the gas cans earlier in the episode
Yes.
when they first got to the room. And then she just took that cigarette, and Michael said it the best. He was like, what did you say?
I don't even remember what I said.
Oh, you
He blanked out. He was like, I blanked out.
You
Yeah,
said,
that
you
moment
said
was,
something.
like,
I don't know.
just-
You were like,
I just loved it. That whole moment where she lit the cigarette and then she was just like, right into the thing. Like,
and then they
Oh, that's
closed the
slow.
door.
You said, and slow motion flick
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah,
cigarette
yes.
in.
I
It's
loved
like
it.
every mafia movie.
Yeah,
that,
it
like,
was so badass. It was
Yeah.
so badass.
Yeah.
I said it was so Liam Neeson's. Like Carol went Neeson's on
Yeah.
them, and then as soon as they go for the door, who's the first person that Maggie sees? Glenn. I mean, yeah, it's at gunpoint, but I mean that reunion. I
Yeah,
don't
he
know
has that
about
gun in her
y'all.
face.
I squealed. I was like, "Ooh, Glenn, yes, baby girl," and he was like, "Are you okay?" And the group got together, and then Daryl.
But I love what
And
Glenn said to her when
Daryl and
he
Carol
said,
was
"Are
cute.
you okay?" And then Maggie like broke down. I was like, I can't anymore.
Yeah.
I think she finally understands that she does have this precious cargo.
Yes.
Can't. And needs to protect
Life.
it. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I think that she finally gets it.
Yeah, and I love that Carol and Daryl got, reunited, and Daryl checked in on her, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And she was just like, "No, I'm not okay at all." And then that guy was like,
Primo,
"I'm
yeah.
Negan," and Rick was like, "Oh, too bad." Pop! I was like, "Yes."
And then
die."
Carol was
And
just
then
like,
zoom in on Carol.
But Carol, because they said around Carol, "We are all Negan." You know what I mean? So when that guy said, I claimed that he was Negan, I think that was the bit of information she has yet to reveal to Rick and the gang to catch them up on that stuff. And then she's gripping that rosary, and that's the end of the scene. And I mean, let's get into some questions because, I'm catching my breath on this episode, y'all. Like, Carol, them beet cookies to this, beat it. So the first question we have is from our friends over at undeadwalking.com. Ooh, yes,
got you, boo.
Bobo, yes. Okay, so our first question from our friends over at undeadwalking.com comes to us from Suzanne Johnson. Oh, Suzanne!
Hey, Suzanne.
Facebook, and she says, other than the Grimes family, whose death would have the biggest impact on the future of Alexandria? Other than the Grimeses,
okay.
whose death would have the biggest impact? You know what? I think Maggie and the baby would definitely, because of the whole,
absolutely.
That would devastate everybody.
yeah, that's like such a callback to, Lori passing and Judith being born. That's a callback to what happened to Sophia and the group and losing her. It's a callback to Beth and how Maggie lost Beth and how that affected everybody, including Daryl, like the worst, and I think
It really does hit everybody if Maggie does that. It affects, like you said, Glenn, because he's obviously her husband.
Yes.
It affects Rick because he knows what a baby is and losing a wife.
Oh, I'd hope so.
It affects
He
Carol
got one.
because, I mean, they're like best friends. I mean, it's just, it does affect everybody. So I agree. I think Maggie would probably be the most impactful.
Also, I feel like, I almost said Deanna, but like, you know, Rick is the leader. You know what I mean? But I feel like Maggie is that balance because he looked to her when it came to the hilltop to talk to Gregory. Out of everybody to talk to good old Greg, it was Maggie. And so I feel like Maggie has that political way of dealing with things. So I think she would be the biggest thing. And that's a great question, Suzanne.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I
What
like that.
other questions do we have? I think we have
Yes,
some
we've
chat.
got one from Janine Davis on the chat, and she said, "Do you believe Carol's change will get her killed? This transformation that we're seeing Carol all of a sudden come into, do we think it's going to affect her in a later episode?"
I don't know if it'll get her killed.
Yeah.
I think that it's already shown that it will put people in danger. Like in this episode, she could have easily taken out that one guy, and then it would have only been those 3 women, which could have, you know, changed the odds of that whole situation, and she didn't kill him. She said she deliberately missed because she didn't want to kill him. And then in this episode at the end with Paula, you know, shooting her in the arm or not even wanting to shoot her but telling her to run away, I think that it's really getting to her. I think that it's going to put people in danger, which is,
Yeah, I think, I don't, because, you know, in this episode, push came to shove, you know? It wasn't just about, I think it wasn't about Carol's life. I think Carol was just more concerned, not about her own life, but about Maggie's. She was so concerned about Maggie and the baby, and I feel like that's why she did everything that she did. But her being a total, like it got a case of the Morgans, and yeah, you're right. It's definitely going to cause problems. Either she needs to take a step back, collect herself, you know, go in that cell, that Morgan's building, and they two can just sit in there like two birds and hatch it out or something. But yeah, I don't know, get it together because a Negan is a-coming.
yeah.
You know, that storm is a-coming.
Is there any hints from the comic books that we can have this week?
Ooh, yes.
I don't know about spoiling anything, but just rumors going around on the social media sphere is that Negan won't, like I said, show up until the last episode.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, oh, and I don't know if you guys read this, but all of the characters are giving some feedback on the last episode, and what's her name? McBride, Carol's character. She said that it's very jarring and very dark.
The finale.
The finale.
Okay.
So I don't know what's gonna happen. I know we're all stressed out. I get it. We all feel you guys. But yeah. Speaking of our fans, we do have some shout outs.
Oh, yeah.
Which I do want to get to. People who are just so loyal to us and, you know, tune into the chat every week and
We love loyalty.
Comment, and we love having this conversation with you. Connor Kilmer, you've been with us before these guys even got here. So thank you for watching us and being such a loyal fan, right? AD.
you mean
BFAD. Before death. But
yeah,
after,
BFD.
Someone needs to read the Bible.
BFD.
Mike Matthews, thank you for commenting on YouTube. Thank you for, you know, being with us. Eyes9, I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for
know.
watching. And Farquaad. I know, I love that name. I think it's like from the Shrek movies.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, Lord Farquaad. Thank you, Lord Farquaad, for watching us.
Nice.
I'm sure he loves that compliment.
I'm sure he does.
Does he get it a lot?
Well, thanks you guys, and you know what? Keep tuning in. We're gonna keep doing shout outs, and we're gonna get to all of you. We're just picking people, selecting them randomly, because there was some questions there like, you know, how am I gonna get a shout out? It's gonna be your turn, boo-boo. We gonna get to you. We love you guys. Use the hashtag TWDAS. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, all the social medias. We're always talking about this stuff, even after the episodes. Put your, you know, comment sections. We're looking at that too. And stay tuned. We're going to be back here live Sunday. So, love you guys.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Eat your raisin bran.
Ew.
Nasty.
For more of the Walking Dead after show,
Click that button and
Subscribe to the stream.tv.